Hello ladies and gentlemen, Aski here for Nerf TV with another hero overview and build for Strife. Today let's look at Lady Tinder. Tinder is a support character specialising in healing and protecting her allies. Sticking to the back of the fight, she's able to keep her teammates alive and even boost their DPS, and while she doesn't pack much of a punch herself, she does have a very effective and cheap stun that can pull enemies towards her. Now, how to build out her skills. I take Bindweed first. This is a range stun that will also pull the target towards you. This can be used really effectively to harass the enemy in the early game, allowing your lane partner to deal some damage to them safely, or even pull them into the radius of your tower. However, this skill will also hit creeps as well, so keep that in mind as positioning is going to be very important to pull it off correctly. Next up, put a point into Stonebark Shield. This gives either yourself or your allies a shield that will not only absorb damage, but also boost their attack speed, making this especially useful when laning with an attack damage hero. Having an early point in this skill lowers the chances of you or your teammate getting picked off, and also gives potential for a powerful combination of buffing your ally and stunning the enemy. Next, put your first point into Tinder Touch. This is a heal that will bounce 3 times, useful in a pinch on your partner or yourself if you take too much damage. However, it can also be used to deal damage to the enemy. It will also bounce, making it a second skill that can be useful for harassment. At level 4 and 5, continue to level Stonebark. This will boost your allies' DPS, or even your own if that's more appropriate, and it will also make it much harder for you to get ganked by a roamer at level 6. When you yourself hit level 6, pick up Nature's Fury. This will summon an immobilized plant that has 60% of your max HP and deals damage to the targets around it. It will last for 20 seconds or until it's destroyed. In the early part of the game, this can be really useful to cast on the edge of an enemy's tower radius to allow it to pick off creeps from a safe position while you and your partner take down the tower. This will keep your creeps alive longer and add to the DPS you're actually going to be dealing to the tower in total. Next, at level 7, you want to max out Stonebark Shield before focusing on Tinder Touch. This will make you very useful in the teamfights in the mid and later game. Pick up your ulti at level 11 before maxing Bindweed and then picking up your ulti again at level 15. Buying the skills in this order focuses heavily on the support role, and while Bindweed is a great skill, even maxing it only gives 0.6 of a second difference in the stun duration, and has no effect on the cooldown. Maxing your support skills earlier will be helpful for giving your team an edge not just in the team fights, but also in bringing down bosses faster and safer. For your items, I like to start out with Healing Rod. This will give you more life in lane if you take some damage and will also give you some better mana recovery. Mana can be a little bit of an issue for Tinder. It's not too bad, but you'll find yourself casting skills quite a lot, so picking up mana potions whenever needed is quite a wise idea. Your team will be relying heavily on your support and having plenty of mana is required. Next up, you want to get Windrush. There are some arguments to go for the boots first, however Windrush will give you more utility. It can be activated as an escape for either yourself or your team, or it can be used to chase down fleeing targets. It's something every team should really have access to, and getting it early can really give it some advantage in some early fights. For the boots, I prefer to go with Spring Boots. Although costly, the ability to make quick jumps is important for Tinder. Firstly, it's another means of escape, but it can also be used for better positioning for Bindweed. Having lots of means of escape will be needed in the team fights, as Tinder is a key target to focus, as if she's cast her spells to protect others, she doesn't have much defense herself. After that, I go for a Rune Scepter. This item will help with your mana recovery, saving the need for buying pots, as well as adding to the effectiveness of your skills and mana pool. On top of that, it will also reduce the cooldowns of your skills by 15%, making you even more effective at keeping your teammates alive. Next up, you want to make sure you can handle any incoming damage better, so you can use your skills on your team rather than on yourself. So to do this, pick up a Dragon Shield. This will give you a 170 point shield that regenerates after 6 seconds of not taking damage. It will also boost your abilities even more and give you a little bit of HP. The last core item I like to get is the Blessed Orb. This will boost your ability's effectiveness even more and make your heals and shields 15% more effective. As a further bonus, you will also get an extra 230 HP. Now for some situational pieces. You should always think about magic or physical armour if you find yourself getting hit hard, but if not, Hexbane can be a really good choice. It will give you a small boost to your health, mana pool, mana regeneration and power, but it also gives an ability that when activated transfigures the target, making them unable to attack or use abilities for 3.5 seconds. This can be great in a team fight to take out a particular target who's of great importance. Other than that, Stone Skin can be really useful if the other team is very crowd control heavy, or if you don't have much money but want another means of avoiding damage, a Void Key can be a good choice, as this will give you 2 seconds of invulnerability on activation and it only costs 2,500 gold. During the early game, focus on assisting your lane partner. Keep their HP up, but don't let your mana pool get too low. You'll need to be able to shield them if the time comes to either attack or if they get attacked. Assist them in last hitting whenever you can, and when you have a clean shot with your partner is close, you can bindweed the enemy and let your partner dish out some damage. Buff them with Stonebark Shield to deal even more, and keep in mind you have Tinder's Touch as a ranged damage skill to finish them off if they run low on HP. Tinder's items are not too pricey, but like any hero you need some good gold income, so don't harass at the expense of last hitting. You'll also be able to bait the enemy, providing they don't have any hard CC. If your HP is about halfway and the healing rod is fully charged, you can try to lure the enemy to attack you. Pop your healing rod quickly to recover and then you can turn the tables. Use Stonebark as well if you need extra defense. Combining Bindweed and Windrush together gives you the time to escape if needed, and this will also allow your lane partner to hopefully pick up a kill. During the mid game you really want to be where the action is. Assist your team in boss kills by healing the tanker and casting Stonebark Shield on your attack damage carry to increase their DPS. Keep Windrush ready to cast if the enemy arrives to try and gank, and always keep in mind that your mana needs to be as high as possible. From here on in you want to find yourself spending a lot of time in the middle lane as this is where the action is going to be, but don't completely abandon your lane partner. Make sure to push down their towers whenever the opportunity arises. You don't want to fall behind on income, so make sure to pick up Baldir whenever you can. Into the late game, maintain focus on keeping your allies alive, healing and casting shields wherever needed. Windrush will give you another support option if you need to flee or chase, and save your boots in case you need to make a quick escape for yourself. Into the very late game, Bindweed will start to get more levels, and at this point will become slightly more effective, so use it more often, but don't put yourself at risk to do so. It's often good to hold it back as a means of defending any ranged characters on your team from being attacked by melee heroes, as you can stun them without having to overextend into the middle of the fight. Keeping yourself and your team alive is your main focus. Your shield will turn any attack damage characters into killing machines at this point, so make sure to make good use of it. Keep to the back of the fights and wherever possible near a wall. This will give you the option of using your boots to jump through it if you get ganked. Your ulti can also be used to deal some extra damage in group fights on the edge of a generator, but it's not really going to be that incredible. Tinder is a really great hero and a good player can be valuable to a team. Be careful not to put yourself in danger as a bad Tinder can feed the enemy team a lot however. Having the items I've suggested gives you the means to escape a lot of bad situations regularly, but you can still get stun locked and your health and defense are not that high. Maintain focus on supporting your team with buffs and heals, save Bindweed for when it counts, and use your elite but don't expect miracles from it. Don't overextend or put yourself in danger and you will regularly go games with very few deaths. So that's our guide and basic build for Lady Tinder. Stay tuned for more Strife guides and videos, but for now I've been ASCII here for Nerf TV. Thank you for watching.